All right, everybody, get ready because today we are going deep into AI-driven development. Like all that buzz about AI transforming how we write software. We've got this super interesting article from a developer, and get this, just like us, they rode that early wave of AI hype. Remember when ChatGPT first came out?
Oh, yeah.
We were all like, whoa, is this thing going to write the entire internet for us?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? The author actually talks about that initial phase where it felt like everyone was chasing, the next big AI thing.
Right.
But what's so interesting is how quickly they shifted gears. They moved away from the hype and took a more practical approach, thinking, how can I use this to be more productive instead of trying to build the next big AI thing? They were more focused on using AI to improve their everyday work.
So instead of build me a robot army, it was more like, can AI just answer my emails and debug this code faster?
Exactly. And that journey actually led them deep into the world of AI. Imagine this. They started with those super dense academic papers. The ones they read like they were written in binary code. But then they found these more practical resources, kind of like learning to code from online tutorials instead of trying to take apart a supercomputer.
Oh, I've been there.
Uh-huh.
I once tried to tackle artificial intelligence for dummies, and it felt like it was written by F or R robots.
Right.
But turns out you don't need a PhD in algorithms to get the basics and start using these tools effectively.
Absolutely. And you won't believe this, but the author had this big aha moment with this tool, Cursor, an AI coding assistant. And it totally changed their workflow. Imagine having this AI pair programmer that can write code, debug, and even refactor your code with you. The author was so blown away that they went from AI student to AI evangelist. They were running workshops, speaking at conferences, all about their experience.
So they went from learning the ropes to teaching others how to climb the AI mountain. That's impressive.
It really shows you the power of just doing it,
Yeah.
applying what you learn. The author's journey from AI newbie to mentor really highlights how important it is to just dive in, experiment, and then share that with others.
Okay, so we've heard about their AI adventures, but what did they learn? More importantly, what can our listeners take away from this?
Right, let's get practical. This article is packed with some really useful tips. One that stood out to me was this idea of focusing on AI's strengths, not its weaknesses. The author actually uses this analogy. They compare using AI for everything to eating soup with a fork.
Interesting.
It's about picking the right tool for the right job.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Don't try to make AI write you a symphony when it's built for crunching data and generating text.
Yeah. But at the same time, the author acknowledges that sometimes you need AI to handle tasks that require more logic, like step-by-step reasoning. They found this really neat technique called chain of thought prompting, where you basically guide the AI to think through these problems in a more structured way.
Chain of thought prompting. Okay, I'm curious. Tell me more about that.
So think of it like breaking down a math problem into those smaller, more manageable steps. You're kind of leading the AI along. And here's where it gets really cool. The author realized that when you combine chain of thought prompting with things like, for example, a code interpreter, you can actually get some really good results even for those tasks that need logical thinking, like calculations or, say, optimizing code.
So code interpreters like giving the AI a toolkit, and chain of thought prompting is like the instruction manual.
Perfect analogy. And this actually leads to another one of their key takeaways. Understanding how AI works, under the hood actually makes you a much better prompt engineer. The author gets into some of those core concepts like tokenization and embeddings.
Right.
They may sound a little intimidating, but think of them as the basic building blocks of how AI understands language.
So it's like, instead of just knowing a couple phrases in another language, you're actually trying to understand the grammar and the syntax.
Yeah.
So the deeper your knowledge, the better you can communicate.
Exactly. And the author doesn't expect everyone to be an AI expert overnight.
Right.
But just having that basic understanding can make a huge difference in how well you use these tools.
Okay, so we've got focus on strengths, use the right tools, understand the tech. What other words of wisdom did they have?
One that I thought was really important was about setting those clear, tangible goals. Instead of getting sidetracked with those experimental projects, think about the real problems you can solve. The author actually gives this example of migrating their blog from Blogger to Jekyll.
Okay.
A specific task with a clear objective.
That's a great example. It's so easy to get caught up in that, ooh, shiny object with all these new AI tools. But having that goal in mind really helps you focus and use them productively.
Absolutely. And on that note, the author also warns against, jumping on every AI bandwagon. Their advice: Let the hype die down a little bit, see what those real, tangible results are, and then decide if it's actually worth your time.
Don't believe the hype, believe the results.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah.
What else? This is like a gold mine of AI wisdom.
Well, one that surprised me was about treating AI like an algorithm, not like a person.
Hmm.
They found that being very direct, giving those clear instructions, almost like micromanaging the AI, actually led to much better outcomes.
So cut to the chase, treat it like a powerful tool, no need to ask it nicely.
Right. Another point, it might seem obvious, but the author really emphasizes this code quality matters more than ever when we're talking about AI-driven development.
Okay.
That clean, well-structured code, it's crucial. It makes it much easier for AI to understand and work with.
So all those good coding habits we've been working on are more relevant than ever.
Exact.
It's not just about making the code pretty for humans to read. It's about making it clear for AI to interpret as well.
And speaking of clarity, the author realized that AI really thrives on structure and clear guidelines.
So we've covered a lot here, from those practical tips to like bigger picture stuff. But now I'm kind of curious, what about the future of AI-driven development? Did the author have any bold predictions, anything really mind-blowing?
Oh yeah, for sure. The author paints this really interesting picture of what's to come, and one that really stuck with me was this idea of, get this, a book renaissance.
Wait, a book renaissance?
Yeah.
Now, with AI everywhere, that seems a little counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Yeah, you'd think that AI would make books obsolete, like who needs them, right? But the author actually argues the opposite. They say that deep, structured knowledge, the kind you find in books and papers, becomes even more important in an AI-driven world.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
It's like AI might be able to build the house, but we still need to provide the blueprints.
Yes. We become the architects, right? We supply that high-level vision, that deep knowledge, and then AI, that's our construction crew, it executes those plans with this incredible speed and precision. And where do we get those architectural plans?
Yeah.
From books, research, all these resources that have that real deep understanding.
So instead of replacing human knowledge, it's more like AI amplifies it. That's a really cool way to think about it. Any other peeks into the AI future?
Definitely. The author also predicts this testing renaissance. So as AI starts doing more of the actual coding, testing evolves too. It goes from just spotting bugs to really guiding the AI. You're actually defining those desired outcomes, but on this whole other level.
So it's less about did the AI mess up
Yeah.
and more like, is AI building the right thing? It's almost like testing becomes this ongoing conversation with the AI,
Yeah.
to steer it the right way.
Yes, exactly. And this ties into another prediction, a learning revolution. The author stresses how developers will need not just coding skills, but a deep understanding of the fundamentals. And they need that fluency with AI tools and techniques.
So it's not enough to know how W code. You need that WHY behind it, the logic, those core principles. And then you layer on how to use AI to bring those ideas to life. It's this fusion of traditional knowledge and super advanced tech.
Absolutely. The author believes that combo, deep knowledge, and AI fluency, that's going to be what sets developers apart in the years to come.
Well, I've got to say, it's a pretty exciting time to be a developer. So to our listeners, we'll leave you with this question. It's the same one the author asks. As we move into this new era of AI-driven development, what role will you play? Will you be the architect, the builder, or maybe even the one who pushes those boundaries of what AI can do? Something to think about. And that about wraps up our deep dive into AI-driven development. We'll see you next time.